It's another fan episode right here on Locked On Spurs. Time to ask, hey, what are the expectations from the fan base?
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to Locked On Spurs and the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for Kids 5 San Antonio. Glad to have you back. It's almost here. The start of the regular season is almost here. It's tomorrow, and the Spurs will kick off their 2022-2023 season. Now, before we get into a brand new season, we got to give the fans one last chance to talk about expectations ahead of the new season. That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to be discussing that and much more with another fan right here for another fan episode of Locked On Spurs. And then later on the show, we're going to go ahead and bring in Wesley Acuff. He is the general manager for the Hawks Talons Gaming. He is with the NBA 2K League's Hawks Talons. They're the affiliate of the Atlanta Hawks NBA 2K League team. And he's going to talk about the team winning the draft lottery. They'll be selected number one overall. I bet he is excited. But before we get to Wes, we're going to bring in our fan guest. He is Erick Hicks. Erick, welcome back to Locked On Spurs.
Hey, thanks for having me back, Jeff.
Not a problem. Hey, before we start with Erick, I want to thank everybody for listening to Locked On Spurs and making it your first listen each and every day. We're free and available wherever you get podcasts. So, Erick, you're back, and you got some heavy lifting to do because we got the season starting tomorrow. Captain Jack went out the mouth again. It's a lot for you to carry. Can you do that?
Oh, I'm ready. San Antonio, your favorite one of one is back. Let's do it.
What number is this for you, by the way? Are you number 5 or this is your 6th stop?
This is going to be number 6.
Number 6. Yeah, I think you might be climbing up the charts fast.
Hey, there we go.
There we go. Erick, so we have you here for a couple of segments. Let's dive into it. And by the way, before we do that, I want to make sure everybody follows Erick on Twitter at HicksErick7. So we have the start of the season tomorrow night in San Antonio, and a lot of fans, I think they kind of understand what the assignment is. Is it that black and white for Spurs fans? Is the expectation simply just to expect the team to bottom out?
Well, it depends. To me, it depends on who you ask, because that line has been drawn between the Spurs fans. That line was kind of there last season, and this season it is just there. You're either team tank or you're not. And if your team tank, if your team tank, your eye is just on Wembley. You know what I mean? It's on Wembanyama, and understandably so. I mean, everybody saw what he did, in Las Vegas. I mean, my goodness. Everything everybody was saying about him is true. We got to see that, for a couple of games. But yeah, that's what a team tank pretty much. They just have their eye on him. They're hoping they can go 0-82 if they could, but realistically, that's not going to happen. But no, so I think that line is pretty much what it is.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's the overall. Now, there are some fans that feel the team shouldn't tank, and there are fans that are saying, "Are you out of your control?" I mean, it's not a lot. I mean, there's out there, but the overwhelming, the majority of the fan base is all about getting that 14% for a shot at Wembanyama. But I gotta ask you, do fans have any player expectations, individual player expectations, whether it be Primo, Trey Jones?
Oh yeah.
Sell?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Where does that start at?
I believe that they just want to see some growth, and maybe see like a Keldon Johnson, Vassell, Primo just step up. I don't think fans are expecting them to go all out and just become an all-star and just run away with it. No, nothing like that. But I think that the fans, as long as they see some growth and maybe continue learning the system and get better, I'm pretty sure that's what they're expecting.
Which player do you think has the highest fan expectations to perform? Is it Keldon because he got paid? Is it Primo because now he's really going to get a shot? Is it somebody else that we're not even looking at?
To me personally, I think it's Vassell. But for the fan base, I see a lot. They're they're going to be keeping their eye on Keldon and Primo more. They bring him up a lot, especially when you talk with Spurs fans. And you're right, it probably is because Keldon got the bag, this offseason. So I kind of think that's why they're like, okay, we gave you the bag now. We want to see what you can do. A little bit more for him. And then Primo, I think they've always been excited about Primo just because we got him when he was so young. And, they're still excited, to see what he can do and why he was brought to the Spurs team. And yeah, I think it was those two.
We're talking with Erick Hicks right here on this fan episode of Locked On Spurs. He's giving us what the fan base's expectations are ahead of the start of the new season, which is just tomorrow. We get it. It's going to be a bad season. I think record-wise, the team probably might have the worst or one of the worst records at the end of the day. But do you feel that fans are going to start warring with each other once the L's start mounting up? Because what's going to happen. It's team tank going to be, yay, great, get those L's up, go for it. Then there's going to be team no tank that's going to be saying, hey, you're cheering for a loser team. You're only going to get 14%. I guess I'm trying to get at, Eric, do you expect fans to be warring a lot this season?
I expect them to be warring. And you know what? It actually has already started. It pretty much started toward the end of last season when they were split up with, what was it, or when was it, the play-in game? I know that still keeps getting brought up, when the Spurs fans start beefing with each other. And you see it still happening now. The team tank will be like, oh, what are we going to do? Try to get another play-in game? And they just, boom, start going back and forth like that, But that's been happening. So, yeah, I expect that to happen, And it's like I said when I was on last time, for those who haven't gone through a rebuild, this year is going to be kind of weird, and I don't want anybody to get scared or freak out or, but hey, we're going to get through it. We've been through two before and we've seen, the outcomes. But yeah, for those who haven't gone through the rebuild, this year is going to make y'all pull some hair.
Yeah, rebuilds are not fun. I mean, I guess the fun is just seeing individual development. Whether it be Keldon, what next step in his development going to be? Is it Vassell? Primo is definitely going to be getting his opportunity.
Yeah, I'm actually excited for this season because of that. Yeah.
No, go ahead. You're saying you're excited.
Yeah. No, I was actually, I'm actually excited for this season because of that. I want to see what players step up. I want to see how they finish off the season to advise how they started the season. I want to see that growth. And, normally the Spurs don't get a season like this to see what's going to happen. And like I said, there's a whole bunch of things that could happen. And that's what got me excited and interested in this season. Not so much. I'm not going to pay too much attention to the tanking and the warring that's going on between, Spurs fans, because I'm telling you, it's going to happen. But I'm just excited to see there's so many ways, so many options that can happen, so many things that can happen this season.
Based on the preseason, they went 1-4. Can you expect that kind of play? That scrappy play, they're going to try their best, but fans kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel almost every game is saying, the opposite team, the opponent, their talent is just better, and that's going to win out.
I could see that happening. Like I said, even though it's just a preseason and, nobody takes too much into it. When I was watching him, I was like, this is exactly what I expected. This is exactly the way I think it's going to be going down for the rest. And they were scrappy. There was a couple of them that they just got let get away in the fourth quarter and stuff like that. But no, that to me, I think that's a preview of the season that we're going to be having.
He is Erick Hicks right here on this fan episode of Locked On Spurs, at least for a couple segments. And then later on the show, we're going to have a special guest, the GM of Hawks Talons Gaming with the NBA 2K League. We're not done talking about fan expectations and more, including what Captain Jack had to say recently. We're going to get the fans' reaction to those words that Captain just says over and over again. It really wasn't anything new. You heard it once. You probably heard it 1,000 times from Captain Jack. But we're going to get the fan reaction to that on this fan episode of Locked On Spurs. But before we continue, let's talk about LinkedIn. Look, these days, every new potential hire can feel like a high stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you got to have and you got to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps find the right people for your team faster and for free. Look, you can add your job. You can use the simple tools like screening questions. Just make it easier for you to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs number one and delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. Look, you got to get to LinkedIn Jobs right now. So here's what you got to do. LinkedIn Jobs. It helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. You can post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonnba. That's linkedin.com/lockedonnba to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. We're back with Erick Hicks on this fan episode of Locked On Spurs, including a special guest, Talons Gaming's GM Wesley Acuff. That's later on the show. But thanks for making Locked On Spurs your first listen today. Now make your second listen game to game. Every moment, every top performance, every result, Locked On Game to Game covers every game from across the NBA with local analysis that's only Locked On can deliver. Follow Game to Game on Locked On NBA, available on the Odyssey app, YouTube, or wherever you get podcasts. So let's go to wrap up fan expectations before we get into some chat about Captain Jack here, Eric. Overall, we get that the Spurs fan base understands it's going to be a lean season. But do they see the light at the end of the tunnel for the most part, whether it be the draft or just development?
I believe that they do. Like I said previously, for those who have gone through a couple of rebuilds, where we have definitely seen the light at the end of the tunnel when David Robinson and Tim Duncan. But for those who even the ones who haven't, I do believe that they see a light at the end of the tunnel, and they just believe that it's not always going to be like this, and they're expecting, hey, let's just go ahead and get this one out of the way, or get a couple out of the way, and then things will be looking up. I don't think that they're panicked about it.
Mm-hmm. Vegas, the recent Vegas line has Spurs winning now. It reduced now. I think the highest it went up to about 24.5. Now it's gone down to about 22.5. So they lost a couple of games. Right. Do you / the fan base feel that's accurate, or you think it could be better or worse?
I think it's accurate. I think it's accurate. Now, if you ask what are we going to call them, anti-tank side or whatever, now they think that's way too low. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that they're going all out and giving the Spurs like 50 games or something like that, but no, when you start talking to the ones who are against tanking, that's one of the first things that they will mention, and they'll throw back. They'll be like, no way, Vegas is crazy. 22 games now, I think some of them will say like we're going to win like 30, 35 or whatnot like that. You know what I mean? But no, so that's how they think.
What are your thoughts? What are you looking forward to in this season? I know you mentioned development, but are you going to be cheering loudly for every loss? Or are you going to be keeping quiet on social media?
No. Man, you're going to put me on the spot, huh? No, I'm going to be, you know what? I'm going to be right there cheering on my Spurs the way I always do. Now, if they happen to lose, all right, I'm just you'll find me sitting down in my rocking chair, and I'm just going to keep looking, but that's how I'm going to approach it. And but I think it's right about there. I don't want to say I hope that Vegas is right, but man, because then I'm going to start getting tomatoes thrown at me. I'm hoping that. But you know what? That's how the Spurs fans are going to start warring. This is pretty much that's what we just described how it's going to happen.
Primo is obviously in the spotlight right now with the fan base. To see what he could do now that DeJounte's gone and the depth chart kind of pushed him up a bit. So we know he's going to be really, really, a lot of eyes going to be on him, on Keldon, on Devin Vassell. Is there another player that maybe we're not talking about? Do you think fans will be eyeing this season, like to see what this player can do?
I thought, well, of course, Sohan. I think that the Spurs fans are really excited to see what he can bring to the table. They also understand that it's his first year. They're not expecting him to go out and, you know, be go through the roof and stuff like that. But no, that they're excited to see him, and they should. They haven't had somebody pick this high in a while. So yeah, they're excited to see that. And like I said, they're more curious to see how he's going to fit into the system, how he's going to look with the rest of the players that we have. You know what I mean? Because they're the Spurs fans, and I'm speaking for this. Talk about the Spurs fans. They're happy with their Vassell, their Keldon, and their Primo, and then so they just want to see how everything's going to start working together now that DeJounte is gone.
He is Erick Hicks on this fan episode of Locked On Spurs. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of expectations, I think, more on the individual player side than as far as the team collectively, making a playoff run or a play-in berth or what have you. But we have a few minutes left with you, but let's go and get into our next topic. A lot of fans took exception to Captain Jack's recent statement. Yes, the former Spur, Steven Jackson, on the Showtime show, I think it's called All the Smoke. And, he was talking with Kevin Garnett, the former Boston Timberwolves player. And they were talking about DeJounte Murray, how all of a sudden now he looks like a different player, a different person now that he's gone out of San Antonio. That sparked up Captain Jack. And look, Eric, he didn't say anything new. He's been saying this for a long time. It wasn't like this is like the first time Captain Jack ever threw the Spurs under the bus. No, he's always been saying that, it's militaristic in San Antonio, that X, Y, and Z, and he's always taking pot shots at him, but he said it again. Nothing really new, but he did reiterate that he felt that he was still better than Manu and TP during their playing times together. How did fans take Captain Jack's, repeated verbal jab?
Oh, at the beginning they would get a little bit upset, but like you said, this has happened before. Ever since I guess we didn't have a nasty divorce, but we had a little breakup with him. What was it, in 2013? Ever since then, if he's able to take a shot, he's going to take a shot at us. That's no secret. Like I said, this is the first time that he's done this. And these little subtle little jabs, he's been doing them here and there. This isn't the first time. I'm willing to bet this isn't going to be the last time. But like you said, he really doesn't say anything too bad. You know what I mean? He just that's the way I feel. I mean, the one comment that maybe was in there was when he said it felt like getting fresh out of jail, or that was just all right, that one kind of made me smirk and giggle a little bit, and I was like, no. But yeah, this isn't the first time he's done it. It's not going to be the last. That's what I believe.
Why do you think Spurs fans get fired up whenever time he repeats this verbal jab? Is this just simply because he's out of left field, or do you think maybe he's speaking a little bit of truth?
I think it's maybe because he's speaking a little bit of truth. I mean, we do have a system, and we did see. I'm going to bring up DeMar DeRozan. We saw that he balled out when he left us, but that doesn't. I don't think that's not saying something too bad. You know what I mean? It's just we have a system. We don't utilize other guys the way other teams do. So, some people might see it as being held back. That's the truth. That's how it is.
Wow. Yeah, it wasn't anything like news breaking or anything. He's been saying this forever. Since he's always said that he felt that he's better than Manu and TP for that one season. He's always talked about Spurs. Now, again, you got to give Captain Jack a little, some balance here. He's always praised Popovich as well. On the other hand, yeah, he has. Yeah, there's video out there of him praising Popovich. So there's that. But yeah, it just seems like there's every an opportunity for him to repeat the same verbal jab over and over again. He will definitely take advantage of it. Oh. He is Erick Hicks. Eric, tell everybody how they can follow you on social media.
Yeah, if they would go ahead and hit me up at Hicks Eric7 on Twitter. If they ever want to talk cards or chit chat Spurs, they can go ahead and hit me up there.
Absolutely, yeah. He loves trading cards. So he is one of the go-to persons if you want to talk about trading cards. It doesn't have to be NBA. It can even be like comic book cards and just cards in general. Although he loves it when he pulls the Kawhi Leonard card. He loves that. So you know how
Hey,
to follow him. Go ahead.
now, I was going to ask you, did you see that last one? I don't know if I sent it to you or not,
I don't
but
think you did. No,
the Coco Golf, the tennis
no.
player, the
You
auto.
didn't. No, you didn't send me that one. But
I'll
that's a
send it.
great pull. That's a
Yeah,
good pull right there.
auto from the Metal Universe box too, by the way.
Wow, that's you better lock that one up and preserve
I
it.
am. I sent
Yeah,
that one. I showed the picture to Master
yeah.
Joshua and Master Rudy, and they were real happy.
Oh, well, congratulations. Hey, we're not done talking about a lot of stuff here on Locked On Spurs. Up next is our conversation with Wesley Acuff with the Hawks Talons GC. He is their general manager. He's going to talk to us about the news that his team got the number one pick in the upcoming NBA 2K League draft. What does that mean for him individually, as a team, as Hawks Talons continues to make strides to becoming a powerhouse in the NBA 2K League? We're going to talk to him in just a few seconds. All right, let's go ahead and welcome our next guest. He is with Hawks Talons Gaming, the NBA 2K League affiliate of the Atlanta Hawks. He is Wesley Acuff. Wes, welcome to Locked On Spurs.
Oh man, thank you for having me, Jeff.
And I just want to make sure I got your new title correct, 'cause I'm used to you being coach. I'm used to calling him coach, but you're now, I believe, you're the general manager, I believe.
I am the director of esports. I'm still in charge of general management as well. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, first of all, I don't think I've said congratulations on that move for you, but congratulations. But Wes, let's we got to talk about what just happened for this team. I mean, huge news, and that's why you're here. And it fits well with your new position as general manager, as you mentioned, director of esports, is that Hawks Talon, they won the NBA 2K League lottery. First of all, your reaction when you heard the news, the team react, just the franchise. What was the reaction?
Man, excitement, man. 2.1%, 2 point whatever the percentage was really
Mhm.
low. And to end up landing in that first spot in the draft is just huge, man. Everybody was excited. I pretty much jumped through the roof. I didn't even hear I couldn't even hear the full name be called. As soon as I heard Hawks, I just I started to get on the phone dialing numbers and
Yeah.
spreading the news. So yeah, it's exciting, man.
And the value, obviously, the number one pick, very valuable. It's changed franchises' directions in the past with number one, like from Dimes, the first one ever to be selected, number one overall, uh, to even recent ones like with Jazz Gaming, and the list goes on and on. Um, when you look at this number one pick, obviously it's going to change the fortunes for Hawks Talons. But how much tempers do you got to worry? I mean, how much do you have to like get over the hype of you just won this until you know what? Now your job as general manager, you mentioned, has just grown bigger and more responsibility to make sure that if you keep the number one pick, that it's a right pick.
No, man. I mean, there's no pressure. I mean, like the excitement is not going away. Like we are still very, very, very excited about the possibility to add some firepower to the roster with that number one pick, or
Mhm.
in whatever way we use it. Whether that's flipping it or actually going out and finding that talent. But I know that with Coach Milo on my squad, we both of our heads together, we'll definitely make sure we get put in the right position. So more so just looking forward to it, like looking forward to seeing these
Mhm.
prospects hoop and finding that next piece of talent, and then after that, just combining our thoughts and figuring out
Right.
what exactly is the right move.
Two follow-ups on that. First one is you mentioned right now that flipping is a possibility. That is a table. And I get it. As a GM, you have to explore all options. Um, but I mean, that's kind of tough, though. I mean, to think about you have to flip the number one pick. Is that something that's being discussed? I mean, for as much as you can without getting in trouble. Obviously, I don't want to get you in trouble or show your cards. But is
No,
that something that y'all are exploring as well?
no, man. Right now, we just sitting happy and excited about having the
Hmm.
number one pick. But obviously, you have to hear all conversations. But
Yeah.
like I said, there's a lot of talent in this next pool, and so no, we haven't discussed flipping anything. But what having that sort of pick does, it just opens up a lot of opportunities for you to consider when people make those phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
but no, we are super excited and looking forward to all these team tournaments so that we can watch all this up and coming talent and
Right.
figure out what rookie coming in, what fresh blood can
Mm-hmm.
help us to improve our roster.
You mentioned Coach Melo. How was his reaction over the phone with you?
Man, he was excited. He was excited, man. He could have jumped through the phone, he would have, so, um, he's looking forward to it, just like I mentioned, like, both of us, we've been on the phone in constant communication, just brainstorming, just figuring out, like, man, what does this all mean for us? And then obviously,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, just tuning in to Pro-Am right now, man, just watching tournaments and watching people hoop and trying to find that gym.
We're talking with Wesley Acuff. He is with Hawks Talons Gaming. He is the director of esports / general manager, and his team just won the number one pick in the upcoming NBA 2K League Draft 2023. This team has been on the rise. It has, baby steps here, little steps here. A move to bring in Coach Melo. He already passed his rookie season as a head coach. You guys got quality players on the rise and are established. When you look at this number one pick, what do you want to take it to? I mean, is it kind of a draft based on need or the best available player that's sitting there when you guys are on the clock?
So now that we might be stepping into into those waters that we don't really want to,
Okay,
put out there
understood.
yet. But
All right.
more so for us, like, man, we are really excited just to see what the talent level is. Like, once it pairs down into that final pool of players that's competing for those final spots and seeing what can take us over the hump and into that next tier of teams. So, man, we're just really excited about that right now, and
Hmm.
it's not more so. It's just a fit for us. Like, what's going to
Hmm.
be that culture changer? What's going to fit right in with us? And obviously, having the number one overall pick helps us because the talent level is going to be there. Whoever this player is, we know the talent level is going to be there,
Hmm.
and we just want to make sure that we find the right player.
You mentioned Pro-Am that you're doing your due diligence for the team, watching the leagues right now that are in the off season. I guess we have to stress this to those that have NBA 2K League dreams is you guys are watching, right? I mean, there's probably not a league or Pro-Am that's playing right now that your other teams in the league are watching. I mean, that has to be stressed for these young players looking to make their stamp on the league in the upcoming draft, right?
Yeah, I mean, I imagine so, but to that point, like, I think just like with anything else, like, you gotta be ready for the moment. Like, the stress
Hmm.
has to go out the window, and we looking for those players that can step up, show off, and show out, and take advantage of the opportunity. So, more so like the people who ready and are made for the moment, you know, and actually don't shy away from it. The
Hmm.
stress should be obviously there because you're so hungry and you want it so
Hmm.
bad. Where are those players? Where are the ones that's gonna command that attention, control the game, and own their moment and make sure that they show up and show out for us. So
Hmm.
just looking to find those players, the ones that are more excited more so than actually stressed about it.
And as mentioned earlier, Hawks Talon as a team, r- there I don't. You guys have just been making steps forward since the recent changes from like you mentioned Milo, your promotion player changing, players changing trades, whatever. But and I think this was almost as if the NBA 2K League universe was smiling you guys because to have a 2 point what was it a 2.1 chance at winning it all, and you guys won it. That's
Yeah,
got to put a big smile on your face.
I mean, man, listen, the 2K gods loved us this go around, and we have, man, we've been trying to put ourselves in the best possible position. Obviously, adding Maelo to the team was huge for us. The support and the knowledge and just the things he brings to the table has been great. But we've also been, building our culture with our players. We went and brought back a C's, a point guard who
Hmm.
we believe in his skill set and we like what he's turning into as well. And then obviously pairing that with Hot Shot, and we just continue to build from there, land and witness,
Hmm.
and So we were happy, and we were also happy with the success of making 3v3 playoffs, and we just want to take that momentum and just build on it, you know. And what better way to do that than landing this number 1 pick? So we are still thankful for that, and we just feel good about the position that we're in right now.
It sounds like the celebration, at least for you, is still going on. You sound really thrilled. You're really excited about landing the top pick. And, you know, I know you will do a bang-up job. You and your staff will be definitely evaluating talent. And speaking of evaluating talent, is there any programs, any, come and meet the players at this offseason for Hawks Talent? The players should come in and meet you guys out in Atlanta?
We got a couple events in the works that we're trying to lock up the last bit of details on, but hopefully we have some community activations where we can invite the 2K community out too, and definitely looking forward to that. Definitely looking forward to bringing our players back to market. Once that payment and protection period is closed, and everybody know who's returning on the roster, and definitely looking forward to bringing them back here and continuing our work internally on this side as well. So yeah, definitely, most definitely. You
have probably the best situation to be in right now. Like, oh no, not the top pick. What do I do now? So you can't go wrong. You really can't go wrong. And I know you guys at Hawks Gaming do a bang-up job when it comes to player talent. He is Wesley Acuff, the director of esports / GM for Hawks Talon Gaming, and he and the team, they won the number 1 pick in the NBA 2K League Lottery 2023. Wes, thanks for hopping on Locked On Spurs.
Absolutely, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
And thanks for making Locked On Spurs your first listen today. Again, make your second listen Locked On NBA. The NBA season is here, and our local experts and insiders have you covered on and off the court all season long. The biggest stories around the NBA every Monday through Friday in less than 30 minutes. Available on YouTube, Odyssey, wherever you get podcasts. And subscribe to Locked On Spurs wherever you get your favorite podcasts as well. Kids 5 Plus app. We have a YouTube page, Locked On Spurs. Just YouTube search that. Odyssey, iTunes, Stitcher. Please subscribe to Locked On Spurs. So for Wesley Acuff of the Hawks Talons GC and our fan guest, Erick Hicks, I am Jeff Garcia. We're going to put a lock on this episode of Locked On Spurs.